Well, good morning, magandang umaga, and welcome to today's episode of My PI Dream. It is a wet and rainy morning this morning. It has been all night long, but it hasn't been a real hard rain. So the pool is not full of water right now, and the guys are here bright and early this morning. Even with a little bit of the rain going, they're out there bending rebar and starting today's construction, which today's construction schedule is. We are on day 13. Yes, day 13 of the construction schedule for the swimming pool project in the backyard of Villa Feliz here. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and get today started. Now, without further delay, let's get today's video underway. Now today, we are picking up where we left off yesterday. Yesterday we stopped where they were doing the bending of the rebar, connecting all the rebar on the wall. And that's what they're going to continue doing today. And I imagine that's going to be pretty much what they're going to be doing all day today. But these guys are going so fast. This company, I think they've been doing this for 30 years, I believe. It's a family-owned business. They know what they're doing, and I just kind of stand in the background. Even though sometimes I'm like, oh, how is that going to work? But they always come up with doing something where I'm like, oh, yeah, that looks right. So again, today is all about bending. And the thing about this type of pool, when you build an irregular pool, as opposed to something that's like more symmetrical, like a rectangular type of pool, the traditional type, there's a little bit more involved. Well, it's probably a lot more involved. That has to do with bending, special curves all the way around, and it's a little more detailed and takes a little bit more effort. So that's probably why, if you have a pool similar to this one right here, they're going to give you a window. Like for us, our window was 30 to 45 days for the build of this. And you always do something like that. You buffer in the event that you have some unexpected things, or you're a little bit challenged like we are with the irregular walls here. I imagine if you did a quote, we're getting a quote, and you said how many days is it going to take, and you had a rectangular pool, they could probably almost tell you to the day how many days it would take. But that's good, and you always should build in a little bit of buffer when you're planning your own project, because I know when I do projects around the house here, if it's a big project, I am never correct. It always takes me longer than what my estimate is. Anyway, let's go ahead and keep an eye and see what's going on with the project today. Now, your guess is as good as mine as for kind of what we're doing over here. I thought that digging, I thought we were totally done with that, but maybe not so much. We're going to follow them to see what the purpose of all this is. Now, we have a layer on the top. You can see we have a layer where they're mixing the concrete, and they're breaking some of that up. And I know probably today this whole area is going to get rebar like we have down here. Up here, so maybe they're leveling in preparation for the rebar laying up here. I don't know. We'll watch. Again, your guess is as good as mine. Well, it kind of looks like the rain is coming down a little bit too hard for even these guys to work. So they're taking a break while the rain. Hopefully, it will clear up. Who knows? The weather today was forecasted for scattered thunderstorms. I think it's somewhere around 3 o'clock in the afternoon right now, and it's been raining. It's been raining the entire day, and these guys just have not stopped. They took a break a little bit in the morning, but I think they know they have a deadline, because I suspect they need to be on schedule when the cement mixer, the ready mix, is scheduled to come out, whichever day that is. I don't know if it's, I think they said they were trying to get it in around Friday. So they're really trying to get all this stuff in. And what I notice is when you are on a schedule or you're trying to push something, a lot of times folks take shortcuts, but I haven't seen them do anything like that here. I've watched them do really accurate measurements, making sure that everything is exact. And you can see the rebar work that they're doing here. All the spacing is proper. They got the proper clear cover distance from the concrete hollow block. Everything looks really good. Now what they're doing now, they pre-assembled or laid out all of the rebar on the bottom of the pool. And once they get that done, once it's all where they want to be, then they do the securing. You see the little wire, see these little pieces of wire? Well, that's what they're doing on the bottom now. So they're getting that ready. Since everything is lined up, then they're doing the securing. So that is the step that they're working on right now, while the other team is still doing some more rebar that they're doing around the very top. I think they have one more strand that they have to do right along the top up here. Well, as you can probably see, we got almost an inch of rain today. And it's getting towards the end of the day, so I think we're going to do a little bit of a wrap up out here. And I got to tell you, even with all of this rain that we had today, those guys really chugged along inside that hole doing a lot of work. So you saw it at the beginning, and I'll show you where we are right now. Now, I think had they been able to do the full day's worth of work, I think these two pads up here, I think they would have been done today. But just the amount of work that they got and the amount of rain that they had out here, it's really amazing to me. Now I did, you could see from the time-lapse video, there was so much rain inside here, the rain got into the lens of the camera that was actually connected, over there, back where the dragon fruit is in the top of the raised bed garden. But there was a lot of rain here today. Like I said, almost 1 inch of accumulated rain today alone. Let's look inside the swimming pool and see where we are today on day 13. So now you can see most everything in the deeper section, the 4 foot and the 5 foot section, all the rebar is pretty much done. It's kind of a muddy mess up here, but this ground is really hard. It's very solid, even with all of the rain that we've had here. Let's take a look over this side. You can see all the wall, looks like most of that's done. I see all the ties. Everything has been tied down in the center here. That's all done, and they've started moving over from this portion, and they will be working tomorrow, I assume. I will say if we have favorable weather tomorrow, all of this will get done. This will be completed up in this area. So I gotta come up here and give these guys a kudos for doing all this work today in the rain. Is it okay working in the rain today? Is it okay? I don't know, it wouldn't be okay for me. I'm getting too old for that kind of stuff also. So anyway, tomorrow's another day. Tomorrow is going to be build day 14 tomorrow. I also, there was some great points. I get great comments from you guys almost daily. Well, every day that we push a video, I get great comments from you. And I'm always, if there's something that I don't know, I ask the contractor. And one of the things which was a concern to me, it has to do with electrical. And we had one of the subscribers put a question in, submit a question here, and they're asking about what type of grounding do you do. Now in the US, and I think it's pretty much all in North America, there's a code that you have to go by, and it has to do with electrical bonding. That's a term. Look that up for swimming pools. Electrical bonding and grounding, and it has to do with putting your entire swimming pool, anything that's metal that would have anything be able to contact anything with electricity, it puts it basically on the same grounding potential to avoid having any type of electrical shock. Now, can you, or have you ever gotten into somebody's swimming pool or been at a hotel or some place where you got into the pool and you grab the ladder as you're going to the pool and you get a little bit of a shock? Well, I know I have. Of course, things have really improved from back in the day when I was a kid growing up. Safety has been a major factor with establishing code. So the whole concept behind electrical bonding has to do with basically hooking everything up together on the same ground strap. So your rebar that's inside your wall, if you have rebar in your sidewalk around it, your ladders that you have going down, your pump casing, anything that has to do with metal, anything that can conduct electricity, you put them on the same grounding potential and you put them in someplace. That way, if for some reason electricity were to get shorted or something like that, everything goes to ground and doesn't go to you inside your body. Now, something about swimming pools, which is a little bit different from like dropping a toaster inside your bathtub because of the amount of volume and all that you have. When you have such a large volume of water, when you do get these little shocks like I used to get, I remember getting for non-correctly electrical bonded pools back in the day, it's just a trickle of electricity, and it's not like that major electrocution type of a factor, but it could happen. So I asked the builder to get a hold of or the contractor to get a hold of the electrician, and they do something. They don't do the same thing, the electrical bonding that way. He said he's going to have the electrician speak to me and explain it to me, and I'll explain it to you. He said, but it has the same effect for safety. So that'll be an interesting episode when we start talking about electrical inside the swimming pool. All right, well, let's go ahead and wrap this up. So you can see, even with all the rain that we've got down today, just a little bit of the water that's inside the tracks inside there for the beams, the cross beams in it, that's all it's holding, because the water is able to filter through the ground so well around here. We don't have any problem with flooding. So that's it for today. Today's Tuesday, tomorrow is Wednesday. Again, Wednesday being build day 14 here on the construction site in the backyard of Villa Feliz. So until tomorrow, if you enjoyed today's video, please give me a thumbs up. Please share, and if you have not subscribed, just click on that little MPID dream heart in the bottom right hand side of your screen. You will be subscribed and notified the next time I upload a new video. So until such time, from right here in the Philippines, you have a wonderful and blessed day. If you enjoyed today's episode and you would like to see more just like these, just click on one of the helpful links over to your right, and you might be able to pick up on some good information on DIY projects, how to, or if you are interested in moving to the Philippines and building, you'll find answers there as well.